Hello, everyone, and welcome to Squad Ops Wednesday event. Tonight we're playing Operation Rook. I am joined today by Bcarr,
What's going on, folks?
and we have Shadowed Ritual in the background. He's going to be running our cameras, making sure everything's going great on stream, so we can hopefully get you some awesome gameplay of this awesome. This is my favorite operation of them all. So this is a one life event, and we're playing on the city of Narva. And basically, objective here is the U.S. have taken control of the castle in the city of Narva, and the Russians have been ordered to take them out. So it's always a fun one, is storm the gates and see where it all goes.
It's an interesting battle between positioning the Russian force to attack the castle and how well the U.S. can set up their defenses at the castle.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the game here, the Russians have the option. So there's a Russian Logi that got stuck at the gas station that used to be in the Delta grid, but now it's in Echo 464. Basically, the Russians have the option to collect that Logi truck, and there's a bunch of mortars in the back end of it. And so they can get the Logi, set up a mortar team to counter mortar the U.S. FOB that's at the castle. So you always end up with this like mortar on mortar barrage. It's always highly entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how quickly they can set up that barrage as far as the Russians go, because I think it's a pretty big factor in their assault. And there's always, I played this once before, and there's always this chance that U.S. can sort of, get their positions in the buildings around the gas station and just sort of wait to ambush the Russian force that comes to pick it up. I guess it depends on, really how many Russian forces come over here and if they're able to get the Logi out. And as long as they don't devote too many resources to this logistical truck, they could be set up for a pretty quick attack on the castle.
Right, and I've always noticed that the Russian Logi always ends up being the key. I think we've only seen the castle successfully stormed 2 or 3 times since we opened this operation. As an American commander, though, I'd be tempted not to send the squad out because I would want them on the walls defending. It's kind of a catch-22 situation.
You're right. Based on how the squads are based on the initial disposition, there is a security team that gets to ride along with the Logis that comes from U.S. Main, which is sort of down the big highway right here that I'm looking at. And it goes across the bridge. U.S. Main is sort of way off in the distance over here, but they can follow this highway. And personally, I would just drop off the security force for the Logis, right here at the gas station and have them take up positions. They got this apartment building right here, plus I believe they have that warehouse, the green one, in front of me right here, and you also have the apartment building that's like directly next to the big blue gas station, the Nestor gas station.
We're taking the south road, right?
Yeah, I would just drop the squad up there.
Yeah, that's always a pretty common tactic to set them up there. It's really easy for the Russians to sneak in there if the Americans aren't very careful to pay attention to what's going on. So I've seen a couple of games where they'll send the squad out to babysit the Logi, and the entire Russian platoon will go up, and the Americans get distracted, or they just aren't looking at it, and then suddenly the Logi drives away. They're all like, "Oh, I wonder where that went."
Right. I mean, if Russia sends their entire platoon this direction, it could be a turkey shoot for the U.S. forces, depending on how they're set up.
Right.
But and even then, like if you're able to get a squad down from that, I think your defense is still pretty disjointed because you have the extra people over here in these buildings that are away from you. You have drivers that are dedicated to the Logi, and you're already a squad down from the get-go. And plus, Russia has these 2 trump cards called MTLBs, which as long as a doesn't hit, from the back, I think the MTLBs could be around for a lot longer than U.S. anticipates.
Well, the U.S. don't get HMGs anymore. That's a recent change to the design of this operation. Also, this is the first time we've played it on the new Narva map, which is significantly larger than the old one. So it takes a lot longer for the U.S. logistics to get over to their FOB. The Russians start on the east side of the river and they have to cross in one of 4 locations. So it's going to kind of be a very interesting set of gameplay at the beginning here. I'm not sure what to expect from the commanders.
Yeah, I checked it out. It seems that Russia starts probably about within a kilometer of the castle, actually. The reinforcement team, the Lodgies, have to start at their main, which is, it's probably about a kilometer and a half away. However, they have faster vehicles, so they can just run down that highway pretty fast compared to the MTLBs. The MTLBs do a little bit of city navigating to get to this part of the map, basically because they have to cross bridges, and there's really only 2 that they can use there's 3 that they can use completely in cover, but there's one that's, that would be convenient, but is out of play because there's basically a platoon full of U.S. Army folks here ready to destroy anything that comes across that bridge.
On our way over.
All right, so it seems like the Russians are about to start briefing. So we'll go try to get some eyes in on that, listen in on their plan, and see what the wily Russians are up to. This is first time Silent has commanded in a while. He's in charge of the Russian platoon.
And we're taking a look at the castle, Herman Castle, per the brief.
Makes me feel good.
Okay, everyone. Welcome to Squadus Wednesday night event, Operation Rook. We are the Russians, and we are Russian.
Shovel.
1 second, my cat food feeder's going off. It's super loud.
Dogs are better.
We know.
Okay, now that that's done. So yeah, we're rushing the castle. Takes about a minute and a half for the U.S. Logi to get there and drop supplies, and once they do that, they can start super fobbing with a bunch of sandbags and stuff. We're going to ignore the Logi. We're not going for mortars. It takes about the same amount of time, minute and a half, for an MTLB to drive straight up to castle. So we're going to get both MTLBs. The MTLBs are going to be manned by Squad 4, Silas's squad. And also Creeping Squad, Squad 2, they will be riding in the MTLBs. MTLBs will be crossing these 2 bridges right here, marked on the map. Going to go up this hill right past the concrete bridge, hop on the road, go down the road. They're going to hop into the moat right here, and they're going to drop off these 2 marks right there. Creeping Squad is primarily going to work on the bridge of castle, on the death mark, but if it gets too crowded, they're going to spread out and maybe go south, maybe try to go east. We just got to get in there fast. The remainder of Silas's guys, the 5 of them who aren't manning, are going to start, and they're going to maybe potentially vault the wall with sandbag, and then hop over, and then they're going to try to go in the south entrance, marked right there. The remaining 2 squads, which are Remick and Krusty, Squad 3 and Squad 1. You're going to be riding in the trans. Trans will be taking somewhat of a similar route. You're going to take the trains, and they're either going to get dropped off right here on the death mark, near train yard, or if he feels that he can, right there in train depot. So it gets us there about 10 seconds faster. The safest one with the death mark, though. What's going to happen is once you guys dismount, Krusty's going to take the buildings with enemy hab mark. I'm just going to spread out and take the buildings with enemy fob mark, or yep, in the north. So I'm just going to be in the north apartments. Krusty's going to be in the south apartments. You guys are going to clear those really fast. Krusty clears this section, and it's clear in the north. They're going to cross as soon as possible, so it'll be the second wave in, and they're going to join in the fight. Remick will then, after he clears those, he's either going to keep a fire team there or bring his whole squad over there, whatever he feels like is best. Probably should keep a fire team there, though, just in case they try to retake it on the west side. And that's the mission. MTLB will be in front of castle in a minute and a half. Troops will be dropped on the feet in the trans within 50 seconds near train yard. So this is going to be fast. Speed is key here. We need to get in ideally within the minute and a half. Once you drop on the moat in the water, maybe throw some frags over, not all of them, but throw some smoke, and we need to just get in there. If we sit out on the outside for too long, they're going to pull back all the forces they have. Maybe some flanking elements are to come back and they're going to hit us. We're going to be wide open. Those that are dropping in the moat, the apartments are primarily going to be your biggest issue to start with. The windows there will have eyes on you. MTLBs, you'll have eyes on those windows, so please focus on the windows of all these apartments marked right now. And second point you want to look at are the rocks north. That's where another squad could be or enemy could be, and that's where you want to look at right when you drop first. If you're against, they can't really see you from the top. Just watch out for underhand nades. But pretty simple. Like I said, speed is key. We just gotta go. We gotta get in there as fast as possible. Any questions?
I have one question.
Yeah.
All right. So Alpha, Squad 3 gonna clear the building at F589. Or are we gonna clear those buildings with that enemy markers and machine gun markers as well?
So the buildings will be squads 1 and 3, 3 focusing on the north side, 1 focusing on the south side. One will be the first one to cross to the river, to the moat.
So our duty is
if
to
you
be
think
like,
there's no
F5.
enemies there, yeah, the good thing is we should know if there's enemies there, because before squads 1 and 3 get there, they will be firing on the MTLBs, or we should be able to see them. So you should have a good idea if they are there. If it seems like they're not there, we may not want to clear all of them. Just get in the good ones, and I'll mark the good ones right now.
What you said, like squad 3 position gonna be like F589, all right? That building which you mark with the fault marker, right? So we gonna be there, or we gonna move up ahead where other 3 buildings are, like.
You're gonna be on the enemy fob mark in Foxtrot 598. That's the building you guys need to take, and should get someone at least in there because it has eyes on north and east towards castle. The 2 ones that I have marked are the better buildings. They have eyes on most of castle there. And you'll be able to see the top deck, the 3rd level.
All right, thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have one.
Yep.
Do they start at castle?
They do. So they start at castle. They have 2 lodges that start at US main. The lodges can bring a weapon squad. So usually what they'll do is they'll have 1 or 2 lats from their team of the 4 lats that they have start at main. And they'll get dropped off near Geneva apartments where our lodge is at, trying to prevent us from grabbing the lodge. So drop 1 guy, they could potentially drop up to 6 guys, and then the 2 drivers would keep going. So those would be the only guys that aren't starting at castle. It'll take them at least a minute and a half to reach the traffic circle. About the same amount of time it'll take us to reach the moat. This is going to be fast. It's going to be a meat grinder. We just have to get in there. And hopefully we catch them off guard with their pants down and we can take that castle.
Well, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's go get mounted up. We got to see how many people can fit in the vehicles without sitting on top of the MTLBs.
All right. Well, we just
MTLB
listened to the
drivers,
Russian brief,
that
and it
it's
sounds
really
like
hit to you
Commander
unless you get
Silent
hit in the rear. It's one
has
hit in the
decided he's
rear.
going to go all out,
Is there
quick,
any
hasty
thoughts on
assault.
rear, or is it
He wants to have contact in the first about minute and a half of
Yeah,
gameplay.
shoot us.
So when we call live, this is going to go nuts very quickly.
Let's get the 2 squads mounted up in the trans.
I see all
Yeah,
the
I'm sorting out
Pesties.
Vic assignments right now.
We're looking at the
Silas,
same-
get all your guys
So
in
while
the
we
first one.
wait for them to kind of
First
get
MTLB
organized
and
here
then
and get
2
loaded
in
up
the
and
back.
ready, I'll go ahead and go over the commands and the SLs.
I'll take
So
the
on the Russian team, it is
and-
commanded by Silent, who is one of our very long-term staff members. He's been here for quite a long time. He hasn't commanded in a while, so you see him kind of rarely command. But his squad leaders are Krusty, who's another long-time staff member here at Squad Ops. He also has Creeping, Jay Remick, and Silas. So all old squad kind of members here. The U.S. Army is commanded by Stormfront, who's a relatively new staff member, came on about the same time as I did. And his SLs are Sugar, Seabass, who is our newest regular as of today, Burns, and the Iron Tyrant. We didn't really get a chance to listen to the U.S. plan, so I'm not really sure what they're going to do. But the Russians' plan kind of relies on the U.S. putting a lot of their LAT assets over at the weapon squad that spawns at their main with their Logis. So this is going to be a very bold strategy, and we'll see what happens with it.
Sorry about that, I just got back.
It's all good, Bcarr.
Loadouts?
Welcome back. Yeah, so let's go over the loadouts for real quick.
Ooh, sorry about that. Loadouts. So Russia have these two big things. They're called MTLBs. They're tracked vehicles. The limitation on these guys, whereas you might see them in a typical squad game, we've got a couple. They've got a couple of NVST guns on them, which means they're basically, you know, you would think of it as coax gun turrets, except for they're really just that. They're basically LMGs on the top of armored APCs. Each squad is going to be 2 LMGs with 1 LAT and 1 medic. They have a troop transport on top of that. And there's this logistics truck that's at that gas station we were talking about earlier. They can rescue that, and then what they can do is set up a fob anywhere they want, pretty much on the map. That's going to be within mortar range, except for I think they can only build it east of the EF line, which is only 400, 500 meters away. If you go straight west of the fob, it's only 4 or 5 meters away. Plenty of areas for them to deploy that fob. They can put 2 mortar tubes down on that fob, which is a lot of firepower for indirect fire, and they can resupply that fob, which means they can have mortars going.
Bcarr is that Silent is going to forego that logic completely, and he's going straight into the castle. It's going to be he wants to get contact in the first minute of gameplay. He's just going everyone in the front gate.
Well, that could be madness, but it could be pretty smart. You know, we talked earlier that sometimes U.S. forces put a patrolling force, or they put a little small OP out where the Logi's going to be. And, you know, that Logi can be a pretty good magnet for forces, for U.S. forces. So it depends on, I guess, if the defense plan for the U.S. is that flexible when they have that squad out there. Speaking of the U.S., they're going to have, in their squads, they have 2 LMGs, 1 LAT, and 1 medic. At the platoon level, they get 2 additional medium machine guns, or MMGs. And those MMGs are going to be pretty pivotal for how they are deployed on their castle fob, because they can fire at a pretty nice rate, and they're pretty effective at longer ranges. Not to mention the fact that they're going to be loud. They're going to draw some attention. They have their own little distinct noise. Plus, they got a little bit of a buff on damage, I believe. They get 2 logistics trucks, which start at their main, or are supposed to anyway, as we go live here. 2 logistics trucks to basically reinforce and fortify that castle as much as they can. And at their castle, they can put down a mortar tube, which, of course, if Russia is just going to throw everything at the wall and see if it sticks, their infantry could get bogged down in some mortars here, and that could be pretty devastating.
Oh, if they get those mortars up quick and they can identify the Russian push hastily, it would be very, very devastating. So each MTLB has a full squad in it right now, and the trans truck has 2 full squads in it. And the Russian plan is to send that trans truck over to the train depot that everyone loves to fight over during normal whitelist games, and clear it out, and then clear out the apartments just to the east of that.
Looks like U.S. have set a fob, or no, sorry, they've sent a squad here in this apartment building near train depot, while 2 squads have gotten out of this transport here for Russia, and they're looking to occupy the train depot building proper.
It's all quiet over there, 1 and 3.
All quiet.
And the MTLBs are moving up.
This is about that
They're
time where
just
you're-
entering the town south of the castle.
Just get ready while
And
you-
here's where the rubber meets the road, because the MTLBs are not going to stop. They're going to drive right in there.
All right. Blue 4 is commanded by Silent. We've got, looks like Krusty here and Remick. Jay Remick, they're in the train depot right now. The other 2 squad leaders are Silent and Creeping.
Yeah, and they're pushing right in with those MTLBs now. I think their plan is to go for the footbridge on the eastern side, or the western side of the castle. Trying to find a good angle for it. The
Looks like we have
Americans don't seem
contact
very
here.
concerned.
Krusty squad pushing into an occupied area. They don't know yet.
Oh.
Looks like everything's quiet.
And the squads at the castle have dismounted, and they're working their way around the moat, get in there, and get set up.
Looks like Russia have successfully. Oh, there goes one Logi, and the entire complement of the logistical drivers for US
That's
are gone.
mean.
Yeah, everyone in the security team for the logistical trucks are dead. The drivers are gone. One Logi truck is down. The other one is still up. Meanwhile, we've still got a squad here. Looks like they're getting a little. They're engaging the folks that were in this.
Helicopter, I've taken for command of Squad 1.
Go assist.
Squads off to the north and to the east. And
Yeah,
the
and
east
Silent
squad
just called
definitely
in all
died.
squads
or the west
collapse
squad.
onto the castle.
Yeah, I think Russ have a pretty good foothold here, especially when they're at the lower ground and these walls are so high and the platform is up there. They really only have to worry about being indirectly engaged by frags. Of course, since the Logi never really came back, I don't think they have a mortar here either.
Yeah, I don't think the Americans got any of their supplies in time.
Forster, go. Go.
Looks like Forster and Sanders are climbing up here.
Yeah, they
Going
know
around the
where
corner.
the Russians know where the American radio is, so they're sending forces already around the corner there. They're using this ladder in the castle that almost no one ever uses on this barn that's right against the wall. It's at the bottom of my screen right now. They're just using that ladder, climbing up on the roof, and getting into the walls.
Okay, we got 2 Russians, Sanders and Forster, pushing up here. Guam holding the ladder. And that's Silas down there trying to give orders. They're trying to get people, they're trying to get more support here. Someone inside here. Will he see them?
Oh,
Nope.
and Sinful Groove here. I'm pretty sure that's Sinful. Yeah, Sinful Groove is the only American on the radio proper. And he takes out one Russian and he tries to lock in the door.
Yeah, he's holding that door right there. Doing a pretty good job with it. Forster backing up. Someone looks like they died here on the ladder.
Is that on the MTLB's inside of the courtyard?
Yeah, it's inside the courtyard. It came in through the hole in the wall, or maybe... Actually, hold on, let me see. Yeah, it came up through the north road, the driveway, and it went through the little farm right here. And it's just driving around, looking for people to shoot.
That is absolutely hilarious. It's very aggressive, very risky if a lat gets up on the high wall and aims straight down on it.
Yeah, something tells me there's no communication in this U.S. force right now. There's really, I mean, this MTLB should have been shot already. and he's going to drive back up North Road here towards the roundabout, where there's half a squad in the rocks, but they're not showing themselves. I don't see a lat unit here either, so... Raider 86 looks like he's in charge of this MTLB. He's just driving around.
He's having fun with it. And Little Bump and Wah Wah have been over here. They managed to survive on the outer wall, and they're just crawling through the bushes trying to make their way back to the rest of the American force.
I think this MTLB was told to come to the North Road. Yeah.
Did he just drive through the compound to get there?
Yeah, he drove back out the compound. He went up on the North Road towards the roundabout, and then he took a turn right around the rocks. I think he was called up this way because there was contact reported up here, but his gunner hasn't seen anything to engage yet.
Oh, and Ops Lawn Darts over here hiding under the eastern bridge, engaging a couple of Russians trying to climb up on the rocks. I think he got separated from his squad. He's actually underneath the bridge, but he's just looking up and killing anyone trying to get up on those rocks on the east side.
And Remick goes down. There's a rocket fired up into the castle here. U.S. have restabilized their position here in the castle. They got some people down in the fort, in the farm area where the field is, the garden. There's an MTLB. Something got hit. I think they finished off that other Logi. There's an MTLB rolling around north of the castle in the village. There's an MTLB right here at the footbridge. Lots of Russians dead. And maybe U.S. has an advantage here of probably about 4 or 5 people.
The U.S. actually has an advantage overall. So the U.S. currently has 24 kills to 14 against the Russians. So the Russians... they're hurting. They're down by at least 10 players at the moment. I think
but there's a lot of infantry down here in the garden for the castle. If they just take if they make a nice, effective, and aggressive push here, someone's just laying right here in this building. Who is this?
Yeah,
Waka Waka's in a corner. He's scared.
Oh my gosh! He has just like all
right outside
Russians. Oh, he sees Silent. Oh,
there goes SJC.
Silent
hurt him. Yeah, he's going down. Maybe. Yep.
Yep. The Russian command getting his hands dirty there.
I got it.
And I think he's just trying to rally his forces here for the assault up the stairs of that ladder.
Yeah, at this point, it seems that... Silent goes down for a frag.
Nade.
That was a team frag.
Oh, that was a TK? Oh, no.
The Sheep team kills his command.
Oh, no. That is unfortunate. That's a black mark there.
And, of course, he's dead, too. I don't know if he died or if that was a dead frag or what. But I think the frag just... It must have like gone off right here, and maybe he tried to throw it up and he misjudged it. It hit the awning and it fell back down.
Well, I was very excited to see what happened with this high-speed rush, but it's kind of stalled out here. The Americans managed to just hold it off.
The U.S. have some pretty good positions here up top. They've got this porch here right next to the castle with the barred door. They've got their medic behind concrete. He's not going down unless someone gets a headshot. They really should put an AR over here. And it looks like they got a couple of the riflemen around. But there really is only just like 3 U.S. in the castle right now. All the other U.S. forces are
still
not.
The U.S. command.
There's 4.
I don't know where he went.
Oh, radio guy just went down. There was there's one squad leader that just died here on the castle. Looking for Storm. I think he may still be alive.
Yeah, Storm is still up. I'm not sure where he ran off to. I think
maybe he is west.
That Logi squad.
Yeah, I think he's with the Logi squad that reattacked, and he's over there right now across the footbridge. D-Leak is still, or someone is still gunning. D-Leak must be driving this guy. at the footbridge. Little reposition here.
Yeah, I've barely heard the MTLBs fire at all this game, focused on just making lots of noise and driving in circles.
I'm not entirely sure. It seems that it's still, Russia still has a pretty good foothold down here in the gardens, but that could be broken if U.S. gather their force and push from one direction really hard.
I think these 4 Russians are the only foot mobiles active anymore. It's these 4 Russians and then the 4 other guys in the 2 MTLBs.
I think you might be right. Yep, there's Liberal Pundit is piloting this MTLB. Fire. I think Russians are trying to push up in towards the radio. There's a frag. A blind frag, not really tagging anyone. They're going to push up this ladder again.
Yeah, they
Meanwhile,
really
the
just need to
MTLB
get the guys out of the MTLBs just in the fight. Because Sinful Groove is going to get his 4th kill right now as this Russian pushes around the corner. It's a Sinful Groove at the end of the wall there, just staring where the Russians have to come. And there he goes. I'm pretty sure that's his 4th down.
He's probably going to get another one here. Lav Tech is going to push around the corner. Or not. I think that
the
medic
MTLB
saw
drivers
Weezo.
really just need to get out and join this fight. Or just start spraying. Or just start spraying at everything.
There's too many good positions for the U.S. here. And it looks like U.S. forces are now rejoining.
Really useful, right?
Stormfront catches them all right here. But he goes down. Weezo prones.
Oh, a nade lands right in the middle of them. Oh. Takes them all down. That was unfortunate to watch.
So that is all the foot infantry that Russia have committed at this point. U.S. looks like they're slowly coming back. Trying to find an MTLB here. There's one to the south of the castle. Or sorry, yeah, this is the south, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the one MTLB in the south. And then where's the other one? Did it get destroyed?
No, it's still on top of the hill over there. Is there anyone in it?
Okay, yep, I see it. It's surrounded by so many admin cams on the map, I can't see it through the giant blob of red dots. But yeah, it's still sitting up here up north, and the Americans are kind of ignoring it. They don't seem to think it's a threat. Again, it hasn't shown any threats yet.
I wonder if the U.S. have any lats.
Kind of a safe assumption. I'm pretty sure that Sinful Groove is a lat, so he could hit the MTLB, but he has to hit it right on top or right in the back in order to do any major damage to it. Because the U.S. lat is the instant kill on the MTLBs if you hit in those back doors or you hit it dead on top.
All right, we got D-Lead